Good morning, everyone, and welcome back into Mid-Morning. Dr. Watson is joining me in studio. So, Dr. Watson, I texted you this morning and I said I have read an article with the Mayo Clinic talking about iron deficiency and anemia. And I was like, that's kind of sparking my interest. So, I guess my first question is, how do you recognize iron deficiency in children? And is this something that you see very often?
You don't see it often, but you do see it.
Okay.
Anemia is one of those things that you can be anemic really without any symptoms.
Okay.
You don't get symptoms from anemia until it is severe.
Severe, okay.
Typically, anemia is screened for, though, at checkups.
Okay.
So I typically find it kind of accidentally rather than somebody coming in being concerned that they are anemic or that their child is anemic. Because children are screened prior to school entry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Typically around 1 to 2 years of age, you screen them. So again, you find it really without looking for it, so to speak.
Okay. So if a patient of yours happens to, have anemia, or you find that, what are the next steps in that? And is it something that a parent really needs to be concerned about?
So you can be anemic for a lot of reasons.
Okay.
There's vitamin deficiencies, iron deficiency, which is what we're talking about today. So metabolic disorders, that type of thing. So the key step, first of all, is you have to determine the cause of the anemia, what the source is.
Okay.
And you can do that through talking to your patient and getting their symptoms, if there are any, but just kind of getting a story of what their diet is, what they eat, what they drink. But you can also do some very specific testing through blood work to see what the anemia is. So to truly confirm it, you would do testing, but you can get an idea based on just talking to your patient.
Now, is there a more common anemia? I know there's different types. Is there a specific one that we see a lot more often?
I will answer it this way. With what I do, being the pediatrician, it's much more common for me to see iron deficiency than it is some of the others. An adult doctor who works in a very specific field may very well see some other form, much more than iron deficiency, but I see iron deficiency.
And typically, like you were saying, you find it in the checkup, so you're kind of finding it earlier than adults would at that point.
Typically, yes.
And so whenever it comes to long-term impacts, if it goes untreated, or if we're treating it early as in the children, are we going to expect long-term impacts, or once we get on that diagnosis and figure out what's needed the most, we should be okay and live a happy life?
Oh no, if you identify it and you figure out the cause and you reverse that cause, there won't be any long-term effects. But if it goes unrecognized, absolutely there can be some lifelong problems.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about screening when we come back from the break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Keith Watson is joining me in studio. So before we went to the break, we said we would speak a little bit more about screening. So Dr. Watson, according to research from the Mayo Clinic, medical professionals are urging anemia screening in children and teens because even without anemia, iron deficiency can be symptomatic. Now, is that something that you agree with, that we need to start earlier in screening?
You always want to screen. Anything that is common like this, if it goes unrecognized, again, can have problems that can last. So state of Mississippi recommends screening for all children. In fact, I believe, if I've got my numbers right, they recommend that, and most pediatric clinics screen for both iron deficiency and lead exposure at a year of age.
Wow. And so, we were talking about different factors in the state of Mississippi. One of it can be for insurance purposes. Another because, in the state, we know that some homes are older and a lot of people could be exposed more to the iron and lead, correct?
Correct. Right. That's one of the reasons the screenings is done is socioeconomic status, potential risk for exposure, old homes, lack of availability of getting proper diet and food. So those are why young children are screened early on. Identify the risk factors, identify the anemia, treat the cause.
And I know earlier you said most of the time it's something you stumble upon. A lot of parents, you know, don't really recognize anything. But are there any symptoms or signs that maybe a parent may think, I might need to go get this checked out, and this may be because of this?
The number one cause that I have in my office, parents are concerned potentially about anemia due to their child, they feel like doesn't eat well.
Okay.
The problem is every 2-year-old in this world is a picky eater.
Yeah.
And they typically eat appropriate enough that they don't become anemic.
Okay.
But if the child truly is a poor eater, doesn't have a variety of foods, those types of things, parents will be concerned and come in, and we can always check and make sure. But that's the number one reason parents come in. Their child, they feel, doesn't eat well.
Gotcha. And again, like we said earlier, that can, you know, a vitamin can help with any of the deficiency. And we've talked about that before. It seems like vitamins are definitely the way to go with most things.
And there are some things that if you eat or drink too much of, it can cause anemia.
Really?
So if they are having an excess in their diet of something that predisposes them to anemia, then we can have the parent cut back on some of the things that may be causing it.
Gotcha. Well, interesting stuff right there. Dr. Watson, always a great time having you in studio. Guys, we'll be right back after the break.